or define your own. You can work their way or yours. You can follow traditions or forget them. Stay in line or blur the lines. Challenge others or challenge yourself. In life, you can do things their way, or you can do things your way. This is option 2.
So, this was an exclusive sneak preview for you of the new TV commercial which will be on air from mid-March on. One point is clear, this car wants to attract attention, this car wants to provoke, and on this note, welcome to the international media launch of the first ever BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe. My name is Florian Moser, I'm the spokesperson for the BMW compact cars, and so of course also for the 2 Series. After the all-new BMW 1 Series in 2019, I have now the chance to get launched my second completely new car. So it seems that I'm working myself up through the model range of BMW. And well, I know that launches for most of you, are part of the daily business. So some of you see up to 3 in 1 week. So nothing special, it's just a part of daily business. For us, on the other hand, these launches are very special. Many of us, the engineers, the designer, the Orga team for such a project, myself, have been working on this for weeks, months, or even years. And now the baby is ready, everything is on the table. Of course, it's a special moment for us. And with that car, we have an additional point. We have no predecessor model. And for me as a communicator, that's good news, because I have a lot of freedom to create common touch points, and we did. So we started very early, 1 year before the actually launch. And maybe some of you remember the special camouflage we designed especially for that car. And now finally, after 1 year, the car is ready so that you can get your first driving impressions tomorrow. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to receiving your feedback tomorrow, and I hope we will have deep discussions about the driving dynamics of the car, because this is actually all about why we are here. So, one note, the presentation you get on the USB stick, so you can just hear and relax, you get the information with you. So, but enough of introduction for the moment, let's get straight to the business. Well, the 2 Series Gran Coupe has some famous big brothers. The BMW Gran Coupe family was established in 2012 with the 6 Series, 2014 with the 4 Series, and last year we added the 8 Series. And this family is actually very successful. In the meanwhile, we have been sold more than 400,000 units, and we strongly believe that that car will continue this success story. So why do we offer this car now? A compact 4-door coupe is an attractive offer for many customers worldwide. And it's an emotional concept too. And differentiation is crucial, especially in the compact segment. And we do that by, of course, design, by benchmark BMW driving dynamics and our latest technologies. The customer. We believe that the customer of that car are much more extrovert than the customer of a classic sedan like the 3 Series, and understatement is just not their thing. And the customer group is large and global, and that's why we offering this car in numerous markets where we have no offer, for example, for the 1 Series, like in US or in Canada. And in these markets, this car is the entry point in the BMW brand, and a very attractive entry point too, especially for young and urban people, so to say digital natives who have an awareness for the BMW brand, for quality, for design, and for those who just want to have something special. The market. We will bring the car on the market from the 14th of March 2020, and it will be a true global player. Europe will be supposed to be the most strongest sale region, followed by Asia and US, and later one will be, so it's our opinion, the strongest single market with around about 25%. So as you see, it's just really a global player, the new car. And now for a closer look under the bonnet, so to say, I will hand over to Bernhard. Bernhard is our project manager of driving dynamics of that car, and he knows a lot about the details, and he will introduce the car in the next few minutes. So Bernhard, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Florian. Good evening. Goedenavond, gasten uit Nederland. I shall remain talking in English so that also our Austrian friends and our Portuguese friends can understand. But before I go into the technical details, I would like to say a few personal words. Driving dynamics of coupes enjoy a special attention at BMW, and it was the reason I actually was very eager to not only join this team with the 1 Series, but also in this case of the 2 Series Gran Coupé. And I would like to address or show to you the technical highlights we have, both on the powertrain and on the chassis side of things. So let's go into the details. We use the front-wheel drive architecture, our modern architecture, also for this car because it offers very large benefits. Most important, it offers just more interior space and at the same time less weight. Compared to the 2 Series Coupé, for instance, we have 33 millimeters more legroom for the rear passengers and 40 liters more interior space. Even the headroom is greater at the rear seats than it is to the comparable 2 Series Coupé. The USP for this car, for a 4-door version in this segment, is actually this 40-liter larger trunk space. So how did we achieve the car, which I would describe in its driving characteristics as very direct? At the same time it's precise, and nonetheless it has a very composed driving behavior on undulated roads. The basis for this setup is found in its very stiff body, which we've achieved by having specific bracing elements, and at the same time the low weight of this architecture and a multi-link rear suspension, which is standard on all models. It starts at the lowest power engine and it goes all the way up to our all-wheel drive M235i, offering a large lateral stiffness and dynamic ability. Last but not least, for each different engine family or engine, be it 3 or 4 cylinder, we have a specific suspension setup. So, the achieving of the stiffness on the next slide, please. We have this multi-link rear axle as standard, and then additional bracing. At the front, for instance, we use our firewall strut brace. At the rear, at the underfloor area, we have a so-called boomerang-shaped brace, and specific to the M235i, we have additional bracing at the front subframe and also at the rear, where we stiffen up the tunnel area. Also on the M235i, we have a conventional strut brace. Now, the different suspension options. We have obviously a standard setup, which is specific to 3 and 4 cylinder models. And then as an option to these vehicles, the M Sport suspension, which lowers the body by 10 millimeters. And then also a third option, which would be the adjustable suspension, our adaptive suspension, where the customer can switch between a sporty and a comfortable shock absorber setting by the switch of a button. Last but not least, the M235i, as you see it here, has also lowered the body by 10 millimeters, but has a very specific setup, both in its standard form as well as in the adaptive suspension setup. One of the things I'd like to mention is the anti-roll bar mountings, which are of the so-called preload variant, which makes the anti-roll bar more effective and as such achieves less roll without compromising the ride comfort. Also, apart from the hardware side, we did some further development on the software and on the functionality side using the so-called ARB, known from the BMW i3 and 1 Series. We also integrated it into the 2 Series. It is a very fast traction control system, and we achieved this by integrating the control algorithm in the engine control unit as opposed to the DSC where it used to be in the past. Reducing the signal path this way by a factor of 3, you will tomorrow experience up to 10 times faster slip control compared to products we had in the past. Assisted by our BMW performance control, which helps reduce understeer in difficult driving conditions, for instance when it's slippery, by individually braking the corner inside wheels. Now, let's talk about the different options engine on offer worldwide. They are 2 petrol engines, the 218i, and of course, as you see here, the top performing M235i, always with xDrive, and as a diesel engine, we have a 220 diesel, which you will drive tomorrow as well. Specifically for the North American market, we have a 228i, also with xDrive as standard. So let's talk about these engines in a bit more detail. The engines are from our latest generation of efficient dynamic engine family. Yet again with increased efficiency and thereby reduced fuel consumption, and with the well-known BMW exhaust control. Reducing the emissions, we were able, for instance with the 218i, to reduce the CO2 emissions of up to 20 grams per kilometer. Of course, we at BMW also like to introduce models which are the ultimate driving machine. Therefore, we integrated the top engine with 306 horsepower in this M235i. It achieves this high power output using different pistons with lower compression ratio, a bigger turbocharger, and also by optimizing the cooling package for actually generating and efficiently cooling this engine. It also was required to reinforce the crankshaft, so that's what we did, and to help both the traction but also to have a contribution in the driving dynamics is the limited slip differential by the Torsen principle, which we fitted at the front axle. Launch control mode, as you might know from other M models, is also integrated in this one to get you up to 100 kilometers per hour in something like 4.9 seconds. Okay, let's go to the next slide, which is already this, sorry. The exterior differences also are there. We have the kidney grille, which has the mesh interior. We have the highlight colors, which we call Syrian grey, also the kidneys themselves, the air intakes below, but also other design features, to which Florian will go into detail later on as well. Last but not least, he will tell you a bit more about the driver connectivity systems and also the infotainment available on the 2 Series Gran Coupé. Thank you for your attention. Back to you.
Thanks, Bernhard. So, connectivity, infotainment and driver assistance systems, to cut a long story short, actually the first ever BMW 2 Series offers everything you know from higher BMW classes. From the BMW head-up display to the gesture control, digital key, remote software upgrade, the extended driver assistance systems or the reversing assistant, all that you know, for example, from the 3 Series. And of course, so you can say the 2 Series offers really a completely range of digital services. The intelligent personal assistant is on board, of course, too. And the integration into the heart of the car with success to vehicle function gets more extensive now. And this is actually a process we're expanding all the time, adding new functionalities. Well, after all this, many facts, many figures, what is missing, of course, the design, especially for such a car. And you heard a lot about the 2 Series Gran Coupe, and we talked about BMW Gran Coupes, but what makes actually a BMW Gran Coupe? You see here the 8 Series, it's a very sporty, elegant car, and if you think about the crucial design elements, first of all we need a very fluent line starting from the front to the back. Then we have, of course, a stretched greenhouse with, in this case, an upright shaped Hofmeister kink, which gives a lot of power on the rear wheels. And we have these both very precise lines, which makes the body side very distinctive and precise. And all these design elements we transfer to the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe. And if you look at the body side, you see that the body side, there are many bold surfaces. We have these two precise lines actually produced on the edge, which is possible, knife sharp. And we have, of course, the stretched greenhouse. We have again the Hofmeister kink, which gives a lot of power on the rear. And we have this fluent line. And now we added some more features. For example, the frameless windows on all 4 doors. So actually you know that from upscale coupes. But now it's available in the compact segment as well. And this helps us to push down the roof line a little bit. So it's, for example, 14 millimeters lower than the 1 Series. And if you close the doors and approach the car, there's a very seamless, elegant approach. Coming to the front, the surfacing are strongly and powerful sculptured, combined with, again, very precise lines, for example, here on the bonnet. And of course, our kidney grille, one of our most important design icon. In this case, we have a very wide kidney grille. It's horizontal oriented and very, very similar to the 8 Series Gran Coupe. In this case, we filled it with the mesh design inspired by the motorsports, and for the top model, you see it here, it's made in cereal grey. Very important for us in this case is that we place the headlights above the kidney grille and all the lines going to the front, so we have this provocative look. Coming to the bumpers, a little bit lower, we added here additional air inlets for cool braking and additional cooling for the engine. And together with that I was talking about, this car really looks very sporty, and I hope we are not just talking about sportiness. Tomorrow you will hopefully feel that we are delivering, and you will feel that that car really a sporty model. So coming to the back, it's actually my favorite part of the car. You see a back which a rear which is really has a wide stance and a very muscular shoulder. And how did we achieve that? We have very, very slim tail lights, high-tech looking, and these are combined with a horizontal bar, so this emphasizes the wide stance of the car. In this case we have free-form tailpipes for the top model, and in total, so we achieve a very typical look for as a BMW Gran Coupe. Well, that's it actually from the exterior. If you look on the top of the car, you see actually that the car is very compact, has compact dimensions. Nevertheless, for our passengers, this car offers a lot of space. And if you look at the cockpit itself, you see, okay, this is our modern digital cockpit of BMW, and it's all about actually driving dynamics, between driver orientation. And you see all these trim lines actually shape this cone of vision, and we have a really driver orientation in that car. Then we have the illuminated trims. This has the car exclusive with the 1 Series, and if you're driving in the night, it's really a special atmosphere in the car. And very important for us at BMW is actually that the functionality is self-explaining and very easy. So you know that we have approved control clusters. So for example, in this area, everything is for driving. On the right hand side is everything for living and navigation. And of course, this comes all along with the new operating system 7.0. So in total, a very modern car, and we are proud of that. And to be honest, 3 weeks ago, in the meanwhile, we won a design prize in Paris as the most beautiful car 2020. And so it seems that we have a new, really worth member of our Gran Coupé family. So that's it actually from my side. So I hope you will have a nice evening with us, and we have deep discussions, and thank you for your visiting. Thank you.